Hey there, welcome back. My name is Keegan. Welcome back to MostlyTenkara. This video I'm calling Gear of 2025 because it's some of my favorite bits of gear for fishing and backpacking that I used in the last year. It's almost the holiday time. I got my cheery shirt on, and maybe these are some things you could pick up or ask for the holidays, so I wanted to get this video out. But I made a list, I checked it twice, and we're gonna go through the list, and I'm gonna share with you some of my favorites, tidbits of gear, and hope you enjoy. All right, the first piece of gear I'm gonna talk to you about, and it's not a piece of gear, it's actually a company. And it's actually a person. Chris Zimmer is his name, and he has a company called ZimmerBuilt. And he makes all kinds of gear for backpackers and Tenkara fishing. So ZimmerBuilt is his logo. This is a rod roll. I absolutely love these things. I keep all my Tenkara rods in these rod rolls. You can see it carries a ton of Tenkara rods. It carries them really compactly. They're safe in there. It's great. I basically just have two rolls and I carry all of my Tenkara rods in those rolls and store them there. Next from ZimmerBuilt, I would say this is my #1 favorite thing of 2025 because I got these this year and I've worn them every single time I've fished the whole year. And that is these ZimmerBuilt split shot packs. It's a set of 2 packs, and I prefer that to 1 chest pack that's in the middle. He makes them as part of a strap system, so this is actually not a ZimmerBuilt backpack. This is an Osprey backpack that I can just clip them on, and I can adjust them for use with this Osprey day pack or my Durston Gear Kakwa 55, which is my backpacking pack. Again, you'll see this in all my videos. I'm wearing these. They're absolutely fantastic. On the left side, I've got my fly box, which I will show you a close-up of later. All my spools are right here. Got some tippet. I also have a tether for my phone. So my phone gets tethered here and goes in the pocket on the tether. So if it falls in the drink, I can fish it out quick. I did lose a phone this year to water in the creek. They're not as waterproof as they say they are. And then on this side, I've got thermometer and to take the temperature of the water, and a pocket knife and batteries. I also usually put my wireless mic pack right in here. And I like that these, I can put my electronics in these and they stay kind of up. And so, you know, the least likely part of me to fall in the river probably is here-ish. And so if the packs are up here, instead of having electronics down in a waist pack or in the backpack or something, it's really secure. So these things are awesome. I love, love, love these split shot packs. So Chris designed the split shot packs to actually be the straps for his day packs. So he's got a bunch of day packs that these split shot packs will become the straps for. And I found that if you just take them off, you can also adapt them to other places. But this is his pocket water pack. Also just a phenomenal day pack. And the split shot packs strap right under this. So Chris Zimmer, ZimmerBuilt, check him out. His stuff is fantastic. He's also got a lot of little stuff. This is his darter pack. So if you're a backpacker and you wanted to bring a tiny little kit, you could fit it in here. He's got these mini packs. He's got, besides the quiver, this is kind of like a quick draw. You can have this on your belt or even hang it right here with a Tenkara rod in it, all rigged and ready to go. Chris Zimmer, like I said, it's not an item as much as it is a company and a man, and he is really great. All of his stuff is super high quality, highly recommended. All right, I'm gonna leave these on for a little while because it makes me feel like I might be fishing, even though I'm not. Second thing, walkie-talkies. These are called Rocky Talkie. And these, I like to go to Wirecutter for gear reviews sometimes, and these are the #1 pick. And they're not cheap. They're like $100 each. And the #2 pick is like $30 for 2. And I did spend more money and buy the much more expensive version of a walkie-talkie, but they have not failed me. They have fallen in the drink. They have survived. The range is great. They're easy to use. They come with a little bit larger of a clip, and I put on this little Night Ease clip because it just sort of disappears on the back. But you'll see me in my videos, I often have it clipped right here. As we all know on stream, even if sometimes you're only 10 yards from someone else and the stream's raging, you can't hear anything they're saying. So a lot of my friends now have walkie-talkies, and these walkies will work with different brands because they use the same radio band. So you can say, oh, we're on channel 7 today, and even if they don't have the exact same walkie-talkie as you, you can talk to them. I think my favorite use case is with my family. If I'm taking my son on the stream, I want to be able to be in contact with him at all times. So if I see him over there and he's doing something dangerous, I want to be like, get off that rock, don't do that, you know. Or he can be like, Dad, I fell, or I need to poop, or whatever it is. And so I'll give him one of these, and I'll have one of these, and it's just a huge weight off my mental load. So these are fantastic. I really recommend these walkie-talkies. I've had a lot of other experiences with much less expensive walkie-talkies, and they always break. The interface is bad, and I'm glad I spent the money on these. So I haven't gone anywhere without these this year. Walkie-talkies, all the links will be in the description below, of course. So that's number 2. All right, I'm gonna take this off now. It was nice while it lasted. Okay, next up on the list is a headlamp. And why do I want to talk about a headlamp? Well, a headlamp I consider to be essential fishing gear because so many times we're out fishing. Oh, I'm just gonna catch one more fish. Oh, I'm losing the light. I just gotta go around the bend a little bit more up that canyon, and suddenly you're hiking out in the dark. It is getting dark very fast. Using iPhone light to see. Always bring the headlamp. That's been me many, many times, and so part of my emergency kit that goes with me in my day pack is, Band-Aids and Advil, but definitely a headlamp. So now I want to talk to you about this specific headlamp and why it's great. I'm swinging the close-up camera in here. These headlamps are by a company called Nitecore, and they made this Nitecore NU20 a while back. Then they stopped making it, and they replaced it with the Nitecore 25 UL. And when they re-released this NU20 Classic, I went back to it, and I'll tell you why. It's so simple. It's so tiny. It weighs nothing. It charges with USB-C. It charges pretty fast. And you have 2 buttons. One is for a white light, and one is for a red light. Every headlamp should be that simple. That's it. Left button, white. Right button, red. On their last NU25 UL, okay, you've got this to turn it on. Wait, does that turn it on? Oh, I have to, I long pressed it. Okay, but that's red. Okay, wait, now it's white. Hold on. I haven't used this in a while, so honestly, this is real time, me trying to figure this out. Okay, so if I just press the right, nothing happens. I have to long press the right, okay? But then if I want to cycle through the modes, okay, I press the left. Okay, do you get the point? It's just annoying. When you're backpacking and you're tired, I just want to know that this is white and this is red. If you want it to be brighter, you press it again. It's just simple. And so I then went on a little spree and bought one of these for each person in my family. This one is now relegated to my emergency kit. So these do come with this thicker headband, and I actually replaced them with these colored ones. These are from a company called Lightsmith, and they do ultralight backpacking gear of all different kinds. And I love these. I love them. They're a little bit lighter, they're a little bit simpler, and they come in all kinds of fun colors. So if you need a headlamp, I highly, highly recommend the NU Classic from Nitecore. Really, really lovely, tiny, disappears and does exactly what it needs to do and nothing more. All right, let's get rid of that close-up camera. Moving on, next item. This is a phone charger, and I've had a lot of different battery bricks for my phone, and I find this one to be the most excellent. This is Anker, and it has a little flip-up plug, and it just plugs into the bottom of your phone. Let me get my phone off this close-up camera arm here. And so it just sits there underneath your phone. So you can still have your phone in your hand and use your phone normally, do all the things you're gonna do, and it's kind of just there. There's no cord coming off of it that's going to your pocket. It's really great, and you just plug it in and unplug it, flip it down. And it comes with Lightning or with USB-C, depending on what kind of phone you have. It's just excellent. It's a perfect way if you're out on stream, if you're out for the day, or even if you're backpacking, to bring a little extra charge with you. Especially, if you're fishing for a full day and you want to have juice at the end of your day. Let's say you're using your GPS tracker or whatever, but you need to have your phone to communicate with your family or send a satellite message now, because they can all do that. You need to make sure you have a battery backup, because your phone runs out of juice, a lot of your functionality goes away with it. So highly recommend this Anker battery. That's the next item. Now I'm going to keep this close-up camera handy here for my next item of 2025. This is my cook kit when I go backpacking, and this is enough for 2 people. This is a Tokes Titanium 750 milliliter pot, and then I've got this silicone wrap holding it closed. This is also from Lightsmith, lightsmith.com, the website that I mentioned earlier. Then on the top of the pot, you'll notice I have a heat sensitive sticker. What's great about this sticker is it gets red as the water heats inside it. So if you're boiling water and the top is on and you're sitting far away, you can just glance at it. As soon as you see this red approach the top, you know it's time to come over and your water's about to boil over. So this is a great little sticker. I have this on all my pots. But that's not the thing I want to talk to you about. The thing I want to talk to you about, well, but first of all, let's just look at how great this cook kit is. In here, we've got 2 Snow Peak mugs in these wonderful limited edition colors, and they nest perfectly, the 300 and the 450. So if I'm making hot chocolate or something, I got one for me and one for my son or my wife or whoever. Then I've got a windscreen made out of film industry black wrap. I'm actually gonna do a video on how to build these. Okay, finally getting to the point. Sorry about that. This is the stove I started using this year. For a long time I had a Snow Peak Gigapower titanium stove, and I switched over to this Windmaster. This is the Soto Windmaster stove, and this is my new favorite stove. It has a ultralight 3-prong stand that just snaps onto the top of it like that. It has a piezoelectric lighter. And this stove I found to be the most wind resistant stove I've ever used. And it really does boil water a lot faster if there's wind. And you know, a lot of times I don't even put up the windscreen because it's so efficient when there's a little bit of wind. So this Soto Windmaster stove, this is definitely one of my best picks of 2025. One of the pieces of gear I just really enjoyed using. I'll often bring a stove and make some ramen noodles if I'm out for a day fishing, and definitely if I'm backpacking, I'll do all my cooking on it. So I love this stove. Go check it out. All right, I'm gonna keep the close-up camera rolling for this next one. This next one is a very simple thing, but it's brought me a lot of joy this year, and it is this bamboo long-handled wooden spoon. But what I like these long-handled spoons for, I do a lot of dehydrated meals when I'm backpacking, and I like it because they can get into the pouch to stir and to eat. And then there's this je ne sais quoi about eating with this wooden spoon. I didn't think of this before I got it. I got it kind of on a whim, but I really prefer eating off of a wooden spoon than with a titanium one. Call me weird or whatever, but this is a long-handled titanium spoon from Tokes. Functions just the same, but I far prefer the bamboo one. So bamboo spoon, go check it out. My only downside is if I'm eating cereal or stew or something like that, the bowl isn't very deep, and so I do like a little bit bigger, deeper bowl for some of that stuff. So sometimes I'll bring 2 spoons. They weigh almost nothing. But bamboo spoon, lightsmith.com. All right, close-up camera goes away. The next thing, it's actually on my hat. This is a patch. It is a patch of a rainbow trout. It is, I actually do need a close-up of this. I'll throw one in. It's a patch of a rainbow trout, and it's a very whimsical, lovely little drawing, design, and it's available on Etsy, and I will link it below. And I talked to the people who make it, and the woman runs the store, and her husband did the design, and I just love it. So then what I do is I have a hat that fits my head really well. This is like a Yupon classic 6-panel, and it just seems to fit my head, you know, really well. And I just buy these hats for $7 on Amazon blank, and then I'll get patches and iron them on. So you'll see in a lot of my videos, there's different patches on different hats. That's kind of what I do, and I like having a big collection of hats, and it's just fun. So this rainbow trout patch is one of my favorite things of 2025. I think I wore this hat more than any other hat this year, and go check it out. It's really, really cool. Okay, so moving on. Now I have some articles of clothing to share with you. First of all, pants. These pants totally kick ass. I've tried a lot of different sort of adventure pants, lightweight pants, hiking pants. These are pants from Fjallraven, and yes, they are a little more expensive, but they are awesome. I have beat them to hell. You can see there's patches on the seat where I'm scrambling over rocks. They have vents in the side because oftentimes when you're in the stream, you're cold, but if you're hiking in and it's warm, you might be too hot. These vents help cool you down. I love the fact that there are 2 pockets on the front of the pant that have zippers. So the front of the pants has these 2 cargo pockets. They're not on the side. And in those zipper pockets, it's great when I'm trying to rig up. You can just stick your rod in one of the pockets and it just holds it up while you're rigging up flies or whatever. And I put, you know, very important things in those zipper pockets, like tip caps. I use one for a trash pocket as I'm walking so I can pick up trash. I just love these Fjallraven pants. But these are very, very lightweight. And so in hot weather, these are great. And then new for this year, I got a little bit heavier weight version of these for like winter fishing. I fish all winter here in Southern California and it can be pretty cold. These are the Keb trousers. These have actually dual vents on the top and then also down here by the calves. They have the same pockets here. They're a little bit thicker material. They also have this cool feature where the knee has a place where you can put a knee pad in here. So what I did is I doubled over some thin, 1/8 inch foam and stuffed it in here, because a lot of times you're catching a fish, you're down on your knees, you're in the rocks, and it's just great to have a little bit of knee protection, and it just slides right in there in the knees. You can take it out to wash them. These are fantastic. So anyway, Fjallraven pants, I'm really in love with them. I'm not sure I'll buy any other adventure pants. They've just been so great. Go check them out. Yes, they're expensive. I think they're worth the money. All right, let's stick with the clothing for a second. I tried an Alpha 60 hoodie. So this is a fiber, and it's very interesting. It's almost like a mesh of little puff balls, but apparently the fibers themselves are like little tubes or something, but it has an insane warmth to weight ratio. And it's a little hoodie, and this in combination with a wind shirt is incredible. And so if you're looking for just a layer to throw in your bag, whether you're backpacking or fishing or whatever, just an extra layer for warmth. This one is from Senshi Designs. I highly recommend this. The warmth to weight ratio is insane. And I love this. I pretty much bring it all the time now if I need an extra layer of warmth. One more hoodie to show you. I always wear sun hoodies when I'm fishing and when I'm backpacking. I just don't want to worry about sunburn. I'm always laughing when I see people walking up the trail with tank tops and like gonna get totally scalded. I'm also, not young anymore. There's melanoma and skin cancer in my family. I'm just not screwing around with too much sunburn. So I always fish in a sun hoodie. I have a hat. You'll see me in my videos. I put the hood up, so I'm really shaded in as much as possible coverage. So my favorite sun hoodies right now are from this company. It's called Lakes, Rivers, Streams, LRS, and they have a couple different cool designs. This one is like a topographic map, but inside there's little trouts. You can find them in the design. And I think there's a couple sun hoodie features that are essential. One is a hood. The other is finger holes. So to I have really long arms. I'm freakishly big, like I said before. So a lot of sun hoodies they end up riding up. So I like the thumb holes to keep them down. And then the one thing I always do to my sun hoodies if they don't have it is I add a little button to cinch it down, and if it's really windy then it doesn't blow off. I actually talked to, I think it's Rob, the guy at Lakes River Streams, about adding buttons in the future, and he's like, that's a great idea, so maybe he'll do it. But Lakes River Streams, they got really cool designs. He's a great artist. He has t-shirts and hoodies and stuff too. But I love their sun hoodies. Go check them out. They have a couple different designs and they're pretty affordable. Sun hoodies can be expensive. I mean, you can get a $20 one on Amazon. I think these are in the middle at like 40 or 50 bucks. Very good. All right, now I'm going to talk about my favorite shelter of 2025. So I'm a backpacker. I've had many, many different tents in the past. And this year I got the Tarptent Dipole 2 Lithium. And it is tiny and it is lightweight and it is very large on the inside. It's a palace. Like I've got, 6, 8 inches, maybe a foot between my head and the ceiling here. And then at my feet, and another foot above there. I've done other reviews and videos. I am 6'6". Most tents, especially ones that just come down like this, end up right on top of my face and they don't have a lot of room inside.
I'm going diagonally in the tent and my feet are smashed in that corner. My head is smashed in this corner.
The previous tent that I loved was the Six Moon Designs Lunar Duo, and this one is as big as that with a couple awesome features and is lighter weight. What's really my favorite feature about this tarp tent is the windows by your head and feet. Views all 4 directions. If you're up, you want to see what the light looks like in the mountains, or if you have an animal coming by. I can be looking up at the stars from where my head is. That window is a killer feature for me. Really good. It's great. You can fit 2 wide pads in this thing. I love, love, love this tent. And I had for a very short time the Durston X Mid Pro 2 Plus, and it wasn't big enough for me, and this one is. So if you're a tall person, go check this out. This is the Tarptent Dipole 2 Lithium. All right, one of the things that that tent requires is trekking poles, and I usually always have trekking poles with me. If I'm out for a day fishing, I'll have one pole because I can use it as a wading staff, and if I'm out backpacking, I will have two. And in the past, these are some poles that I've loved. This is the Pacer pole, and it has a uniquely shaped grip at the top, which really fits your hand super well. You can kind of see that there. And it's very, very comfortable. It puts your hands in a more ergonomic angle. I love these poles, but they are a little heavy, and the grip makes it so that if you want to put it away in a bag, it's not quite as convenient. The other poles I've used recently are these Cascade Mountain Tech, just Costco. These are like really cheap Costco poles, but they are carbon fiber, they are lightweight, and they're great. These are my like beater poles, but they're very tall. And so if you're on a day pack and you have a wading staff and you want to put it away, then suddenly it's sticking up over your head and you're trying to go under branches and it's catching in branches. So this year I tried some folding poles and they turned out to be great. So you can see it folds up really small, and the way this works is it's 3 sections and there's a cable through the middle. And so then there's a height adjustment here, and if you push down, it pulls the cable tight, and then there's a little lock right there, and so now the pole is very secure. And I was worried they wouldn't be strong enough for me. Again, I'm big, but it turns out they've been great. And what's great about it too, especially for fishing, is that I can have it out and use it as a wading staff, but then when I don't need it, I can just clip a little carabiner on it, and it's small that I can just clip it to my belt and have it hanging there until I do need it again, and it's out of my way. These have been great, folding trekking poles. Okay, I put my backpack back on for this next piece of gear of 2025, and it is this little bungee with a little hook on it from Gossamer Gear. They come in packs of 2, and these are fantastic. I tried a lot of different ways of carrying a Tenkara rod on my backpack strap this year. So you can see it's a bungee here and it has a little hook, and you just hook it here, and then you can tighten it down by pulling it like that. And then you can squeeze here to loosen. And so you can put these anywhere you want in order to hold the rod securely and stow it quickly. So right here you can see that's securely holding this Tenkara rod on my backpack straps, not going anywhere. You can have this fully rigged, ready to go, and be hiking, not have to even take off your bag, take your rod out, catch fish, put it back. It's fantastic. A lot of times I find myself either wanting to stow my rod without taking off my backpack, or I have 2 rods. I got a long rod and a short rod, and I'll be switching them, putting one away and fishing the other one. And so you can see here I have 2 of these. One is down here holding the sort of butt end of the rod, and one is up here, and it's incredibly easy to loosen, unhook, take out the rod, and you just sort of hook it back, tighten it back up, and it stays there. You can even just slide the rod out. I tried many, many, many ways of carrying a Tenkara rod here on my backpack strap, and this is by far the simplest, easiest, and best. Go check it out. Okay, I'm gonna have to get the close-up camera back for this next piece. This is my fly box. Now I have a lot of fly boxes. I am kind of nerdy and I got a ton of fly boxes and they're all cool, but this is my favorite, and this is the one I used almost every time I went out fishing this year. This is wood, handmade. I think it uses a CNC router. It's by a guy called the Mad Frenchman. He sells these boxes on Etsy. He's also building an airplane right now. He is indeed a Mad Frenchman. I think his name is Guillaume, and he has lots of different woods you can choose from, and he will engrave something in the top of it for you. Don't tell my son, but I'm actually having one made for my son for a Christmas gift. He uses ripple foam on the inside, and this has just been the fly box that I ended up grabbing every single time I went out. I love it. I love the handmade nature. I like that it folds flat, completely flat when it's open, and then it closes securely with those magnets. Just fantastic. I really, really love this fly box. So, favorite fly box of 2025 by far. Probably will be the favorite fly box of 2026 as well. While we're in the fly box, almost forgot, let's talk about the fly of 2025. So you can see there's a lot of flies here. This was my box as I had it sort of rigged up for the Kern River. So there's a lot of nymphs, there's a lot of nymphing. But the fly of the year for this year is this one right here. This is the Oxford Wool Kabari from Dragon Tail. They manufacture it, but it's a design by Tom Davis. He ties it. He is a angler, also a rod reviewer. He writes articles. check him out, Tenkara, here on YouTube. He's great. So this is his design. When I started using this, I just realized it caught fish every single place I was. This would catch fish, small fish, in the tiniest of streams here in Los Angeles, and it would also catch 19-inch fish on the Owens River near Mammoth, and it was catching rainbow trout on the Kern River. When other flies weren't working, when smaller flies weren't working, I would throw this on and I would catch a fish every time. So I'm saying that this is my fly of the year. One of my confidence flies, one of my favorite flies, the Oxford Wool Kabari from Dragon Tail. Okay, here is the next item. That's right. So this is a glove. It is a sun glove. It is a palm-free sun glove. It is called palm-free. But what that allows you to do is handle a fish without having fabric touching their skin and rubbing off their protective slime quite as much. There's just loops over your pinky and your thumb, yet it protects the back of your hand from the sun. It's fashionable. It's great. I have 2 of them. I just don't know where the other one is right now. Palm-free sun gloves. I really like these. I wore them all year. Okay, next thing is kind of in the box, out of the box, but it made a huge difference to my year. And I got new prescription sunglasses. These are from Smith, and the experience getting these from Smith was incredible. I have progressive prescriptions, so it's hard to get the progressive right and all the this and the that, and my experience with ordering online from Smith was exceptional. I got their Chroma Pop brown tinted lens. This is the green mirror lens, and they're polarized so I can see in the water. Just enough tint to protect against the sun, but they're not too dark that I can't see in the shadows. I actually had a pair of like glacier glasses that I used at the beach and on the tops of mountains, and fishing was hard because they were actually too dark. If you're ever in the shade, they were just too dark. So these glasses are incredible. You'll see me, I wear these in all my videos now. They have detachable side shields. So when you're wearing them, I can take the side shields off for when I'm wearing them around town. But if I'm fishing, I'll put the side shields on to cut down on the side glare. And it also comes with a tether around your neck, so I'm not gonna lose them in the river. These have just been phenomenal. My experience buying from Smith online for these prescription sunglasses was great. If you have a prescription, I highly recommend Smith. Check them out. Fantastic. They've just been like one of the top pieces of gear of my year for sure. Okay, but what about fishing stuff? What about rods and all that stuff? All right, I will tell you a little bit about that. So I have 4 rods I want to mention for 2025. The first is going to be my favorite rod of 2025. I don't think I received this in 2025, but having fished a lot of rods, this is now one of my most beloved rods, and is the Anglo & Company Wasabi 32. And I just love this rod. I love that olive color on the blank. I love the simplicity of the handle, the end cap. I mean, everything about this rod is so great. And it's perfectly suited to my local streams, my streams where the fish are 6 to 12 inches, and my streams that I love in the High Sierra with mostly, golden trout, brook trout, rainbow trout, but they're usually small. It's a perfect action. The casting is amazing. It handles those fish well. You can control them in the small stream because it has a little bit of backbone. It's a little bit of a tip flex rod. The Wasabi 32, I just love this rod. You do have to get it direct from Japan. I actually have the Wasabi 36 on order with them. I should have that hopefully next month, but I love this rod, and this is one of my favorite rods of 2025. The next rod I'd like to mention is the Suntech Sawanabori 52. This is a phenomenal rod. I wanted to fish larger rivers for bigger fish, and I picked this rod up specifically to fish the Kern River here in California, where there's a huge rushing torrent in the middle of a river and you can't cross the river safely. But I want to fish the other side of that current. So this is a 17-foot rod, and I pair it with a 18 or 20-foot line, and I'm able to cast over the entire current and pick up fish in little eddies and on the other side of the current on the other bank of the river. It's just so fun. Also, this rod can handle very large fish. And listen, I catch small fish. 18-inch fish, that's very large. 16-inch fish, that's very large. And I'll put up a clip here of me fishing this rod in on the upper Owens River and catching, I think I caught 4 or 5 18 to 19-inch rainbow trout that day, and it just handled it beautifully.
Got another massive rainbow.
It's got nothing on the Sawanabori.
Dude, that's crazy.
Jeez, did you hear it screaming?
Yeah.
All right, wow. Okay. No, I know. You gotta dig back in. Gotta dig back in.
Yeah.
Getting tired. That's a small fish. Look at that thing. Jeez. So this rod is long, it's 17 feet, it's very strong, can handle big fish, and it's down to get the friction on. And if you know that reference, then you're probably as old as I am. But speaking seriously, this rod is fantastic. It's got a small packed size, and it's very sensitive. You'll see it doesn't have a grip material on it, it's just the blank. But that means you can be 17 foot of rod, 18 or 19 or 30 foot of line, fishing way, way, way down. And if your nymph or your beadhead or whatever you're fishing down there just touches a rock, you feel it immediately, like it's electricity coming through the rod. So I fished this rod very deep in alpine lakes, and like you can just feel the strike immediately. You don't have to look at anything. You could just be on the rod and it's like boom, and you feel the fish take the fly. There we go, there's a fish. It worked beautifully for nymphing, but it also worked for the dibbing the bob technique that you might have seen in my other video that I was using on the South Platte, where you have two flies and you're manipulating downstream, and one fly is anchoring and the second fly is kind of like bouncing up and down. And I was able to catch fish coming up to the surface, even when there's no hatch going on with that technique. The sun has gone down behind some clouds. There we go, there's another one. Got one, big one. Holy hell. And it only weighs 3 ounces. I mean, it's so great. It weighs so little that you can cast it one-handed pretty well. And then if you get tired, you can kind of brace it here and kind of like backhand it, or you can two-hand it. Just a phenomenal rod. I had so much fun with this rod this year. This is one of my favorite rods of 2025. I want to mention 2 other rods, and I want to mention them because I think they're significant for this year in terms of the offering of Tenkara equipment here in the USA. The first one is the Keiru Rod Company Mini Max. So this is a pocket rod, and it is a full-size rod, meaning it's about 360 centimeters. This is, I think it's 354 centimeters or something. But the great thing about this rod is if you are a backpacker and you want to have a pocket kit, I mean, you can wind the line on this rod, and this is your entire kit with a fly and a line, and it weighs under 3 ounces. Man, what a phenomenal compact package to just be able to carry with you at all times, just a couple ounces and you're fishing. So cool. It has great action. It'll work great for small mountain fish or for, you know, traditional Tenkara fare. It casts really well. The tip is nice and soft. It's just a fantastic, fantastic pocket rod. It's my new favorite pocket rod for sure. And what's great is David at Keiru Rod Company is here in the States. So you don't have to worry about shipping from Japan. You don't have to worry about tariffs. Getting spare parts is easy because he's right here and he offers spare parts and he stocks them. So if you're looking for a pocket rod, this is fantastic. And it just sort of represents American companies making super high quality Tenkara gear that matches what is offered in Japan. And I think this is an example of that. And that brings me to the next rod. The last rod I'll talk about, and I think it's very significant, is the Nirvana Dragontail Kokoro series. This is the 320, but they also have a 360, which I own, and they have a 400, which I just got in for testing. And this is a similar thing as the Mini Max. It's a Japanese quality, highest quality, matching Japanese rod. If you put a blindfold on and you fish this next to a Nissan Zero Sum rod, you literally, I guarantee, will not be able to tell the difference. The casting is smooth and silky and wonderful. It's super lightweight in the hand. The fit and finish is incredible. And these rods represent an American company matching what is offered in Japan. And Japanese rods are still, you know, the best rods out there. And these 2 rods, I think, really raise the bar for the American companies in terms of quality, and I'm really happy to see it, and I'm excited about it. And so that's why I included those 2 rods in my favorite rods of the year, because I think they're just an important step for us here in the US in terms of developing Tenkara, and the quality is just all there, 100%. Check them out. This is the Dragon Tail Kokoro line. They're fantastic, fantastic rods. Okay, we're getting close to the end. Thanks for sticking with me here. I got a couple more things. This is the net I use. I own a lot of nets, and this is the one I use most. This is the Dragon Tail Small Landing Net. It is made of wood. It is very well designed. It is beautiful. It is big enough for, well, it's big enough for any fish you want to put in it, because I put in a 19-inch fish into it.
Jesus. I need a bigger net.
And I did buy the large version of this, specifically for when I go back and target bigger fish. So this is, let's see, 14, it's about a 12-inch hoop, and the large version is about a 17-inch hoop, so it's significantly larger. But this is the one I use for just about everything. It's the great medium size. They offer like a tiny version of it, but it's a little small in terms of like, it's harder to get the fish in the net because it's a smaller target. And the small size is just perfect for anything from 6 to 19 inches like you saw in that video. And so this is the net I carry all the time. It's my number 1 net. It's pretty much what I use. The way I rig it up is I have a magnet on the very top here. And so then it can hang, if I'm on in my day pack here, it can hang down here and I can reach the handle with my left hand behind me and just grab the net and pull it off. And then I have a tether attached to the bottom. And I rig it up similarly when I'm backpacking, just so that the handle hangs down. And it comes with a little brass tether in the handle, but I actually just unscrew that and take that off because I prefer to have the handle part hanging down so I can grab that instead of grabbing the net part. So that's the net that I love the most and the net that I used pretty much exclusively this entire year. And I guess I should mention my day pack. This is the Osprey Sportlite 25. I like a lot of different backpacks. This is my favorite because it fits me the best. I really like Chris Zimmer's pocket water pack and the functionality and the lightweight. I love that pack, but it's a little bit shorter. And again, because I'm a giant person, this pack is taller, which allows, because the straps are up here and the waist belt is lower, it allows me to adjust it so that I actually have weight on my waist. A shorter pack, I kind of can't do that because the waist belt ends up like out around my belly button. So I needed a taller pack. So this is still my favorite day pack. It's the one I choose pretty much all the time, although I do like the tailwater pack and I take that out quite a bit. I mean, that pocket water pack, and I take that out quite a bit too. But this is the Osprey Sportlite 25, and it's just a workhorse. I love it. Okay, I got 2 more things for you. One is a car camping accessory, and we all know these fuel cans, this Coleman propane fuel tanks. Well, what's bad about these? You have to throw them away. Some people can refill them, it voids the warranty, it might be dangerous, whatever. Well, now there are refillable versions of these propane tanks, and I've switched over this year. I love it because I'm not filling the landfill with these things, and it's super easy. These are from a company called Flame King. You can just look it up, well, there'll be a link, but Flame King refillable propane. And what you do is you take your big propane tank that you use for your grill at home, and it comes with a stand. You can get like 2 of these and a stand in a kit. You flip it over and you can attach it and you fill it up, easy peasy, and then you bring these and you just refill them. So I wanted to mention that because I think that's just trying to be a little more sustainable, and I switched over this year and I love these. They're great. Hook them up to my 2-burner stove. Refillable propane tanks. Stop throwing them away. Start refilling them. Okay, and the final thing, and then I will shut up and leave you alone and stop boring you, is this. What is this? Well, this is a little Gossamer Gear pouch, but this is a thing that has changed my videos, and I love it. This is providing my videos with another angle, one that I think is very interesting and is hard to get when you're by yourself. If you're making videos like this, if you're self-fishing, if you have a camera crew, it's easy to get multiple angles and interesting things and stuff. But when you're just filming by yourself often, so the way I film is I have a chest camera, that's the point of view camera. Then sometimes I have my iPhone for close-ups, and I've experimented with putting my iPhone kind of on the bank on a little tripod or something. It's not that efficient, it slows down the fishing. And so this year I got a drone. This is the DJI Neo Drone, and you can see it is very small. It is completely pocketable. And what's cool about this drone is you can control it with a controller or your iPhone or just by itself.
Spotlight, Helix, follow.
So I will often have this following me while I'm climbing a stream and fishing. You can also put it up and have it looking down on you. And it's tiny, it's pocketable, and it allows you to get a different angle. So let's just see if let's just see what happens if I just start it here.
Medium. Follow. 3, 2, 1.
So there you go. So it'll follow me. And if I turn this way, it's going to turn that way. If I turn this way, it's going to turn that way. And if I want it to land, it just lands, and then we're done. So this drone has been really cool. Because it's so small, it means you will take it with you. And because it's so easy to use, there's no impediment to just putting it up and seeing if you can get some footage. So there you have it, the little DJI Neo. And then also if you get a controller, you can fly it up super high and get these awesome sweeping vistas of the location that you're fishing. And the quality's not that great, but it's like good enough, and the size just makes it kind of a no-brainer because you can take it everywhere. Now I have dropped it in the water twice this year.
2, 1.
Shit. There it is. No. Nice fish. Cute. All right, 7 inches maybe. Oh no. Then it went and just crashed on the side of the canyon wall. But I got it back. I'm in one piece. Let's keep fishing. And it has survived. I think that speaks to the durability of it as well. But so there you go. That's the last of my gear of 2025. Hope you enjoyed this. Personally, I like listening to people talk about gear and how they use it. So hopefully you got something out of it. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all those YouTube things. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you in the next one.